Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I got something really cool that you guys gotta check out.
Can we open it up?
Yeah.
A really short pool cue. Or a drumstick. It's signed by somebody?
I actually met David Grohl at a store. I was like, oh my God, it would be awesome if I could get your autograph on a drumstick.
I heard that he was like the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah.
He's definitely the GOAT. I mean, do you know much about him?
I mean, like when he first started Foo Fighters, in the recording studio, he played every single instrument.
He's like a little Swiss Army knife of rock and roll.
I'm looking to sell my David Grohl drumstick. He used to play in Nirvana and also in Foo Fighters. The condition of the drumstick is excellent because it's never been used. The autograph is about 20 years old, so there's a little bit of wearing off there. I'm ready to sell it because I wanted to get a little bit of extra cash. If I make some money today, I'm hoping to take my kids out for a night on the town.
This is definitely cool. So Dave Grohl actually taught himself to play drums. He never had a lesson or anything like that. He just heard a drum riff he really liked and just decided he was gonna play drums.
I think he started a band at like 10 years old.
You know, he joined a band called Scream in the late 80s when he was 17. It was a punk rock band. The lead singer of the Melvins brought Kurt Cobain to go see Scream. Nirvana pretty much fired their drummer. Lo and behold, never mind. You could say Dave Grohl had a huge part in it. He started Foo Fighters and he didn't really have a band set up, so he just played all the instruments himself on the first album. I mean, like I said, he's definitely one of the best musicians of the 20th century, period. So give me an idea of what you're looking to get out of it.
I'm looking to get 6 because I don't really know how much it's worth.
$6?
600? Yeah.
You know what's weird with this is that the signature's not the best I've ever seen. This guy has had his drumsticks in thousands and thousands of charity auctions. He throws them out constantly, and like you said, he's not shy about handing out an autograph. So let me get a guy down here so I can make sure the signature's real, and he'll be able to tell me what it's worth.
Okay, great, thank you. So my biggest concern is to maybe get lowballed because, you know, David Grohl didn't actually play with this drumstick, he just signed it.
Steve!
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
How do you like this? I'm gonna ruin my dad's joke. He's gonna say little pool cue.
So I guess it's signed by Dave Grohl.
Ah, nice. So Dave Grohl is really one of the greatest musicians of, you know, our lifetime. Think about this. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not once, twice, for 2 bands, Nirvana and Foo Fighters. I mean, the guy's pretty much done it all in the music business, and he's still relatively young.
So this young lady right here ran into him, and she was able to quickly acquire a drumstick, have him sign it.
Huh, interesting. I mean, he's pretty accessible to fans, and I think he likes it. He embraces it.
So, is the autograph real? And what's it worth?
All right, let's see. First of all, if we're dealing with some live ink on here, and that's definitely fiber-based marker right there. I could see it. He doesn't really put his last name. But as you could see here, okay, if you were to take a look at the 2 and you'd say, well, that's pretty obvious that 2 different people signed that. Now, the thing about Dave Grohl is he's had 5 or 10 different signatures throughout his life. They all vary. Some of them look alike. Now, you could see these deformations. And I think even here, he wanted to swing around, but he couldn't because it's a drumstick and hard to sign. It's that big D in that uppercase A, and I'm seeing that again, and there's no doubt it's real.
Okay, so he's been around for a long time. Give me the news. What's something like this worth?
You mentioned one key word there. He's been around a long time, and he's still around, and he's still signing. With that said, nice piece, great signature. The value, though?
Don't make me cry.
You know, I put the value right at about $200.
Ooh, I really thought it was a lot more.
Okay, so 200 bucks.
Yeah, about 200 bucks.
Okay, thanks, man, appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right, give me the news.
Okay, so here we go. I mean, I'll give you like 75 bucks for it.
Oh, God, 75? Well, can we do like 160?
I can do 100 bucks, and I'm doing 100 bucks just because you got such a good story.
Can we try to do 150?
I can do 100.
All right, let's do 100.
All right, cool, we got a deal. I'll write you up.
I thought the whole little pool cue joke was pretty funny myself.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How you doing?
So, obviously, we got a drum set.
We do. This is a drum set that was custom made for Ringo Starr. It's It's made by the Ludwig Drum Company. Then they discovered that they'd used the wrong shell, the wrong wooden part of the drum.
Okay.
So they had to make another one for Ringo. And then this one, they sold it to one of their endorsers, Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick. And then I bought it from him.
We got a mystery wrapped in an enigma here, don't we?
I have a drum set that was custom made for Ringo Starr that I'm hoping to sell today. So there's a little wear and tear on it. Bunny Carlos played the set, and you can see the stick marks on the drum heads. I'm a drum collector and drum dealer. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I want to sell this for $25,000.
I've never seen anything like this before. So you're saying that this is not Ringo Starr from the Beatles set?
Well, he didn't own it, he didn't use it, it was just made for Ringo.
Okay. Probably one of the most famous drummers in history.
Probably the most.
The Beatles, they were only a band for about 10 years and had 14 #1 albums.
That's
You know, the day they played the Ed Sullivan Show, Ludwig got like 1 million orders and became the biggest drum company in the world overnight.
exactly.
You know, Ludwig never put their name on the front of their drums.
Right.
He really, really helped out Ludwig quite a bit. So it belonged to who now?
To Bunny Carlos, the drummer from Cheap Trick.
Another one of those bands that have been around forever and ever. Surrender, I Want You to Want Me. They've got tons and tons of songs. Any way you can show me that it belonged to him?
Oh, sure, yeah. Actually, Bunny signed the inside of the snare drum right here.
Okay.
See that?
Definitely not Ringo Starr, though.
That's true. I also have a letter from the artist relations manager at Ludwig at the time.
Okay.
Confirming the whole story.
Well, tell me this. What are you looking to get for it?
I want 25 grand.
All right, I'll tell you what. Normally, I don't even take drum sets, unless it was Ringo's or something like that.
That's about as close as you can get.
This has a really interesting story behind it. Do you mind if I have a buddy of mine come check it out?
Not at all.
All right, well, hang out and I'll see if I can get him done.
Great, thanks. I'm excited that an expert will be coming in, and I really hope that he understands the market as well as I do.
So these were drums made for Ringo Starr, but used by Cheap Trick.
Well, it's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, and the drum is fantastic. I bet there's not another, well, there's one other.
Yeah, there's one other.
One
yes.
other, so it's one of two. It's got a lot more sparkle than the old glitter finishes that they used to do.
Right.
Lumograph is a film, it goes back to the 60s. It's really, really deep 3D effect. It's kind of gaudy. I mean, it's sparkly.
It's rock and roll.
Well, Cheap Trick is a good band in their own right, and he's definitely got good cause to have a Beatles-like set. So is there any evidence that Bunny used this? Or?
There's an autograph inside there.
Oh, inside there. Bun E. Carlos. So do you think that Bunny just had this in his collection, or was it used in shows?
I know it was in his collection. The Beatles' influence was huge on Cheap Trick.
But unfortunately, Cheap Trick is not the Beatles in terms of value. If you're a big Ringo fan and a drummer, this is the next best thing to owning a Ringo set.
Okay.
The fact is that Ringo had a big sale in the last few years and sold off a lot of his collection of drum sets. So we do have a lot of comps to go by.
Okay.
So, Corey, what can I tell you?
Okay, so Cheap Trick and everything aside, what's it as it is?
If it was something from Ringo's warehouse that he'd never played, but it was the factory reject, as far as you could stretch this would be 12 or 14,000 maybe.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
My pleasure, always here to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so you literally brought me one of the most confusing drum sets I've ever had in my entire life.
Well, I'm glad to mix things up for you.
What are you really thinking, man?
I'd sell for 20 grand.
I'd offer you 7. You know, I'm thinking auction fees, storing it taking a while. It's a complicated story. Here's the thing, I've got to make money.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna get anywhere close to 7. I could do it for 18.
I would go up to 9.
You know, I think that's just not gonna do it. I'm gonna hang on to it.
Well, I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
very, very much.
Take care.
All right, take care. You know, I'm fine that we didn't make a deal today. I'm gonna take them home, and sooner or later, A Ringo Starr collector will understand the value in them, and I will be glad to send them off to a new home.
Hey, what do we got here?
A Drumhead that's signed by John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, David Bryan, and Tico Torres.
Sweet. Bon Jovi, incredible artist, incredible band.
Yes, they are one of the top bands in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I know, like, if you're my age, you've been to a Bon Jovi concert in this country somewhere. And
Yes.
you've held up the lighter.
Right? I'm here at the pawn shop to sell my Bon Jovi autographed drumhead and sticks. This drumhead has been used in an actual concert at the Lost Highway Tour in 2008. I'm asking $12,000. I'm looking to sell this drumhead and get some extra money for my retirement.
This is cool. Bon Jovi. They got an incredible history. I mean, like, they were just one of the mega bands of the 1980s. John Bon Jovi started singing and doing different things around 1980. 83, they got the band together,
Right.
and they just rocketed to stardom. I think it was 1986 when they came out with their biggest album, Slippery When Wet.
Yep.
There's great songs, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, and You Give Love a Bad Name.
Oh, yeah.
A few times in my life, I've wanted to sing that to a woman.
Yeah.
There's a great story with that album art, too. I guess for months they were arguing about the album cover, and they knew they were going to call it Slippery When Wet. So literally the deadline, we have to have the artwork today. The photographer, my understanding is, just took a black plastic trash bag, threw it on the ground, sprayed a hose over it. It's slippery when wet.
Yep.
I mean, that went on to sell like 13, 14 million albums.
Right.
So looks like it was actually used on stage from Osaka, Japan.
Yep. I believe the sticks are used as well.
Yeah, the sticks are signed by...
Tico Torres.
and the rest of the band on the drumhead.
Right.
So you looking to sell it?
Yeah.
What do you want for it?
I'm looking to get around 12,000.
Okay. I mean, it's a really cool display, and you got the whole band there. But I don't know how often they sign stuff. So let me get my expert down here to look at the signatures. Let's make sure it's real, and I'll get his opinion on the price.
All right.
I'll be right back.
I don't have any concerns with an expert looking at it because I know it's authentic, and I think he will evaluate pretty close to the asking price, if not just over.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Rick? How you
How you
doing?
doing?
Hey, how are you?
What do you think?
Well, it looks like you got a drumhead, Rick.
A drumhead and some drumsticks. Bon Jovi.
Okay. So they put on a pretty good show. Still pretty popular. He started his musical career probably about 1979, 1980, that range. And he sang backup on a Star Wars Christmas album.
There's a Star Wars Christmas album.
Yeah, there is. His brother produced it, and he got in and sang backup.
Only you would know that.
Pretty cool, huh?
No.
So, I mean, the band's kind of done it all. They've done a little country, pop, glam, hard rock, I mean, hair band, you name it. John Bon Jovi.
You had to bring up the
band.
hair thing, didn't you?
I did. I don't have it either, but, you know.
Believe it or not, I had hair. It didn't start falling out until Corey became a teenager.
I could see that. Makes a lot of sense. So obviously your concerns, Rick, are about the signatures themselves.
Well, and what's it worth? And is it worth more because he says it was used on stage?
Okay, so John's always had kind of this flamboyant signature that stood out. And as you can see, it's kind of almost the same thing. He interloops everything kind of together and lets it roll. This would be David Bryan. And David's kind of the sloppier one of the band. Once again, this is a little sloppier version, but it matches up pretty nice to that. Richie Sambora has never really changed. He has a really nice signature for a rock star, kind of looking at the same thing. And then the last one is Tico, which doesn't give you much, just a T and a line. This is actually a nice one.
All right, so you think they're all real, though?
Well, you know, based on everything I see here, obviously, we've got live ink, signatures of the main 4 band members. Absolutely no doubt about it. That's genuine autographs from all 4 of them.
Okay. So this guy's wanting $12,000, which I thought was really high, but I thought there was always the possibility.
So, you know, I really look at it, Rick. I could base the value on just the signatures itself because it's hard to say, is this really used? Was this used in Osaka, Japan? Was it used on the 07-08 World Tour? With all that said, obviously a nice frame job. You've got the sticks, you got the whole plaque. Signatures are genuine. I put the value right at about $2,500.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot.
Hope that helps.
I'll give you a call later.
All right, good luck. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Yep.
Okay, so it's definitely not worth $12,000.
Well, you know, I was just kind of, I was kind of hoping it would be around there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so are you interested in taking a lot less?
What's your offer?
$1,000.
How about 15?
I'll go $1,200.
Not even 14.
I'll tell you what, I'll go $1,250.
If you do $1,275, I'm in.
All right, we got a deal.
All right.
I'll meet you right up at the pawn counter. I'll get your ID, we'll do some paperwork, and I'll get you paid.
All right, thank you. I'm kind of disappointed in where the price fell. I figured it would go a little higher. I'm not really beating myself up because I only paid $450 for it.
Earlier, I got a call from a guy looking to sell a drum kit, so Chum and I are on our way to go check it out.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So this is it, huh?
You don't know how long I've wanted to play the drum store, man, ever since I was a little kid.
You were never little, were you?
Ever since I was a big little guy.
I decided to call the guys at the pawn shop, see if they'd buy my Slingerland drum set. I really like it, but I'm moving to New York, so I kind of need to get rid of it. I think it's worth about $800, $900.
So what can you tell me about it?
Well, it's from the 70s. It's a Slingerland drum set. It's a jazz kit.
What's the difference between a jazz set and a rock set?
Well, this is a tom and this is a bass. On a rock set, you'd have 2 toms and the bass would be bigger.
Slingerland was a guy who opened a music school in Chicago right around the turn of the century. He started making drums in the 1920s, and they've always been popular with jazz drummers.
Give it a try?
Go for it, man.
All right. Be prepared.
Play sweet music, Chum. Get up, Chum.
Hold your applauses, hold your applauses.
These drums probably sound great in the right hands, or pretty much any hands besides Chum Lee's.
So there's no cracks, no lamination problems besides this right here?
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
That's not bad, though. They can be fixed. The problem is it's a jazz setup. It's harder to sell. Every kid wants to be a rock star. You know what I mean?
These drums are in great shape, but since they're for jazz and not rock, they can be pretty tough to sell. The only way I'm gonna buy them is if the price is low.
So do you want to sell this?
Yeah,
How much do you want for it?
like $750.
I just don't see it. I'll give you $500.
Do you think you could do $700?
The problem is you only got the 1 tom. It's a jazz set, hard to sell.
I'm probably gonna just hang on to it. Yeah, I think. Well, it's too bad I couldn't make a sale, but I cannot take $500 because that jazz set means a lot to me.
Well, sorry we couldn't make a deal.
Oh, no problem, man. Good to meet you guys.
See you later, man.
I think I'm just gonna keep it in my parents' closet and just hang on to it and play it every 10 years, which is about what I do now.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, nice to see you again.
You came in a while ago with like a Star Wars script or something, right?
That's right, absolutely.
Okay, and we got a drum.
It's a Civil War drum you just can't beat.
No, you could.
I'm here today to sell my Civil War drum my father gave me 30 years ago. My father being an antique dealer, we have so many antiques, this won't even make a dent. I want the drum to go to somebody that can really appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely cool, man. The way it was, when you were out on the battlefield, they would have a different drum beat for different commands. Attack, retreat, move left, move right. Generally, younger boys would be carrying these around.
Sure.
But it was a gnarly job.
From my understanding, you didn't want to be the drummer boy. The enemy knew that if they took the drummer boy out, it'd be hard for them to arrange and organize.
Everything about the Civil War was just bad anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a brutal, brutal war. So I imagine the drummer boy it'd be tough. Some people have referred to the Civil War as the Boys' War because so many of the soldiers were children. The commander basically looked at him and says, "You're too young to carry a gun, it's too damn heavy. Here's a drum." Is there any reason why you think this is from the Civil War?
I've seen other examples. It seems to be Civil War.
Okay, well, we know it's not Revolutionary War because the whole American symbol thing hadn't been invented yet because we had to win the war first.
Sure.
There's been repairs to it, I can tell you that.
Really?
That's post-1900 hardware right there.
Right.
This right here, a newer piece. This may be his original right here. See, it's all rotting and everything like that. You would never expect this thing to be 100% original if it was used.
Okay.
And how much do you want for this thing?
$12,000.
There's been a lot of repairs done to it, and I still got to figure out the date on it. So if you don't mind, I would like to call a friend of mine in. He will know everything about this.
All right, great.
Okay. So hang on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I'm not really shocked to find out there was a little bit of restoration on the drum. I mean, it's 150 years old plus.
So this is the drum I called you about.
Oh, very nice.
He claims it's from the Civil War.
All righty. You know, the youngest drummer in the Civil War was 9.
Whoa.
Yeah, a fellow named John Clem. He was a little tiny kid.
Sure.
You know, and you look at him and you think, you were on the battlefield. The bombs going off and the bullets flying, beating on the drum to make sure that the regiments were going where the general wanted them to go. It's a huge role to play in it.
Sure.
But if you were a drummer, this was part of what defined you on the battlefield, so people would hold on to these. They're a very nice display item, and they are in private and public collections.
What do you think?
Is it of Civil War era?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is a later piece. My guess is 1870s, 1880s. Okay. And this looks to me like one that would have been used as a parade drum post-Civil War. It's still 19th century, I'm sure of that. Doesn't mean it couldn't have been in the Civil War, but I don't believe so.
Okay.
But there is a market for them. There are people that collect 19th century drums.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, I told you you're smart.
Very smart. Nice guy.
All right, so how much do you want for it now?
Well, you know, he did say it was possible it was used in the Civil War, and
It's possible I could graduate from Harvard.
I don't know.
The fact of the matter is, it's not Civil War, okay? I'm looking at $500.
You know, I can understand not 12,000, but 500. You know, this is a piece of Americana.
When you sell something, you sell a story. The story previously is you had a young boy in battle during the Civil War. We have now, the story is, once every 4 or 5 months, they pulled this drum out and they paraded down the street. Those are the differences between them, and those are the differences people pay.
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd sell it for $1,000, but I can't sell it for anything less.
I'll tell you what, I'll go 900.
Meet me in the middle, 950, and it's done.
All right, I'll do the 950. Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
I accepted the 950 because it does take up too much space in my house, and with the kids and the dogs, I figured I would accept his offer.
Hey, what can I help you with?
I've got a Civil War drum.
Okay.
I've been in the family since I was a kid.
Why did you need a band in the Civil War?
I came down to the pawn shop today because I've got a Civil War drum that I'd really like to sell. It doesn't have too much sentimental value to it, so that's why we decided to sell it. Well, I'd like to get maybe $2,000 for it.
So where did you get this thing?
A good family friend of ours who collected Civil War, antiques, she gave it to us as a gift. Seeing that it's 13 stars, I figured it was pretty old.
Why is there only 13 stars?
This is like the idealistic flag, 13 stars from the Revolutionary War where we had 13 colonies. They've been putting it on stuff ever since. It's just symbolic. You would still put on something today. During the Civil War, believe it or not, they usually just had kids carry the drums.
Wow.
They would actually play these things going into battle. And the reason they'd have a kid playing it is because you can have an older guy use a rifle with a bayonet a lot better.
I wouldn't want to be that kid, man.
During the Civil War, a lot of kids enlisted into the Army as musicians, so they could follow their dads and older brothers into battle. By some estimates, the Union Army had over 100,000 soldiers under the age of 15. It's made from tin. You see the wearing right here?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably rubbing from like leaning against someone's body, hanging out someone's body. Did you put the silicone glue on there?
Don't know how that happened.
Obviously, at one point, this was loosening up and someone decided to fix it. Anyway, besides that, it's in wonderful shape. You have all this inlay in the wood, you have this tin work, and things like that from the Civil War are pretty damn rare and they're pretty expensive. I'm always interested in Civil War stuff. There's just so many die-hard collectors out there that I could sell to and turn a profit. And if this drum was actually used in battle during the Civil War, that makes it super valuable. Okay, I got some concerns. I think it's a little too fancy to be military. The military is more utilitarian, and this doesn't look that utilitarian. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, this looks like the real deal, though.
Okay, I would like someone to take a look at this thing. Let me call a buddy of mine. We'll get this thing figured out.
Okay.
I'll be right
All
back.
You bet.
A legit Civil War drum has got all kinds of potential buyers, from Civil War buffs to guys who collect antique musical instruments. I really hope it checks out. How's it going?
So what do we have?
Apparently we have a really old drum, and I figured if anybody would know anything about it, would be another old drum.
The guys normally call me down when they have an artifact that they want a little bit more information about. One of the interesting things about snare drums, and this would have been a snare drum. You'd have a head on one side that was just the normal skin, and on the underside of it, you would have the snares running across, and you use those to add to the sound. Because the whole point of the drums was you had to have those in order to communicate on the battlefield, in order to communicate while you were marching. The drummer would have a special cadence to play, and then you knew, okay, that was my group, I'm supposed to charge now, or I'm supposed to retreat. You needed some kind of way to signal your troops.
So what you're trying to do is sneak attack on somebody, Mark?
You don't use the drum. You just tell them to go.
Oh.
The role of the drummer in the Civil War was similar to many wars before that. You needed a way of communicating before radios. What are your concerns on it?
Okay, I just want to know, is it a military drum, and is it from the Civil War era? Because it just looked really ornamental for a military drum.
Interestingly, in the Civil War, a lot of the drums used were quite fancy. They would normally have an eagle on them or a flag on them. They would be painted. These were used to an extreme extent during the war. But as I look at this, I don't think this one is Civil War. I think what you have is a very nice early parade drum. The Civil War drums never did this kind of press work into the wood. This is a later 19th century style of decoration. The size is unusual for the Civil War period. It would have been a deeper drum at that time. But it's still a wonderful example of a late 19th century drum.
Thanks for coming in, Mark.
Not a
You're
problem.
the best.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really disappointed. I really believed it was from the Civil War, but apparently it's not. It still seems like it's a valuable piece.
Yeah, there's still money here. So how much are we looking to get out of it?
How about 2,000?
You don't have 2,000 bucks here. I will give you like 400 bucks though.
4? But it's a real drum. It was, you know, it's the real
I know
deal.
it's a real drum, but if it was Civil War, it's a military collectible. Civil War nuts will buy it and everything. We have more of a decorative piece. That's the difference.
How about 8?
I'll give you 450.
Tell you what, I'll settle for 5, but I can't go any lower than that.
You know what? I think I can make money at 5.
Okay.
All right,
Good,
500
good deal.
bucks.
All right.
Write them up, chum.
All right, meet you over there.
Even though it's not from the Civil War, I'm pretty satisfied, you know, with what I'm getting for it, so I can handle 500.